Okay, I think we're live. This is always the most fun part, trying to get logged on, making sure everything's working. So, let me know when you get here. Say hi in the comments. All right. Good morning, Anna. How are you? I've got Obi over here. Maybe Spanky's with you too. But for practice today, we are going to need 2 blocks. Everything's backwards on mine. 2 blocks, and then either 2 pillows, a blanket, 2 blankets, and or a bolster. Because we're just going to mostly be laying on them. We're going to be putting our knees on them, so something cushy. Got a few minutes before we get started. If you have any questions, let me know. Let's see what else here. All right. So hopefully my dog doesn't get crazy. He didn't the other day, so we'll see. I had to bring a little blanket out for him because he's a diva and he needs a blanket to lay on. Otherwise he lays on my yoga mat. All right. So again, if you're just joining, you'll need 2 blocks, a pillow, maybe 2 pillows, maybe 2 blankets, or a bolster. Some squishy stuff to put your knees on and lay on top of. Of course, blankets are always good for an actual blanket as well. Okay. Water, so good. All right, well, let's get started. We are doing the earth element today. It is my absolute favorite. I incorporate earth element into pretty much all of my classes, most of the time without telling you guys. But today, since it's all about the earth element, I'm going to give you all the rundown on it and how it applies to specifically yin yoga. So yin earth is a little bit different than when you look at it from like the Ayurvedic standpoint or just the Hindu or traditional Indian standpoint. So with the yin, it's still with the traditional Chinese medicine. It governs or controls our emotions of anxiety and content, or just like happiness and worry. So like a lot of people, when they get stressed out or anxiety, they feel it in their gut. I'm one of those people. I have gut problems. So again, I love the earth element. But these organs that it governs our spleen and our stomach. And what our spleen and stomach do is they nourish our body. So the food that we intake, it helps to break it down and digest it and then send it out as nourishment into our system. So think of our stomach as our energy system and our spleen. So when I say stomach, I'm referring to both of those organs. But they work together in harmony, just like all the other yin and yang organs. But they allow us to balance. So when you think about the food that you bring into your body, and you know right away if it's like healthy food or junk food and what it does to your body. So let's say, for example, like me, I have a sensitivity to gluten. So when I eat gluten, I know right away it's going to be bad for me, but I do it anyway because I'm human. I eat it, and then my gut doesn't feel very well. So when my organs start to break it down, and the energy, the chi in my body is telling me, hey, like something's not right, you immediately get off balance, and it starts in your gut. So when we're out of balance, we're usually needy, worried, we have really bad anxiety, maybe worse than what you already have. You might be overbearing. If you are balanced, though, you're a very grounded person. You're supportive, you're a peacemaker, and you're there to help nourish not only yourself but other people. What else about this? I had something fun. Oh, in traditional Chinese medicine, they call our stomach meridian the minister mill, because basically our stomach meridian and our spleen meridian, they run along the entire front side of the body. So I'm going to be pretty general in the meridian lines. So basically they start at our toes, they go all the way up our leg. Of course, they go in through all of our internal organs right here in our digestive area. They come all the way up to our head, and then of course it branches out. So today when we work through our practice, we are going to be compressing some of those energy points on the front side of our body, meaning the part where your face and your chest and your thighs and your knees are. So we are going to be stretching some of those energy lines, putting some pressure on some of those energy lines, and hopefully finding a little bit of balance while we do that. So let's think about balance and what else it means to us before we get started. Something with the earth element is patterns. Patterns happen in our lives all the time. They basically define our lives. So I'm just going to empower you today to look around. Listen, even if it's closing your eyes and looking, but look, listen, feel, and just know that balance is a constant act. And 1 minute we might feel great, and the next hour we're like, what just happened? So just know that balance is hard, and you're always going to be trying to find that that balance, the yin to the yang. So just know and watch and listen to your emotions today as we move through this practice. All right. So let's go ahead and get into our first posture. We are going to take belly Savasana. So we're going to lay down on our stomachs. If you do not like laying on your stomach, I'm going to have you lay in fetal position on your left side, because that is where your spleen and your stomach are a little bit more on your left side of your body. So that way we're already putting pressure on it if you're not a stomach layer. But otherwise, come with me. I'm going to get on my mat with you, and we're going to lay down on our bellies. Try not to kick my dog. So as you come down to your belly, go ahead and bend into your elbows and let your elbows reach towards the opposite sides of your mat. You can lower your forehead to your stacked palms, or you can make fists. Either way. So as you're getting here, I want you to notice the parts of your belly that are touching the floor. Notice where your thighs are touching the floor, your torso, every body part, but specifically your belly. I love starting classes off in this belly Shavasana because it really brings our focus and our attention inwards. So let's just breathe for a few rounds of breath regularly. Breathing in through the nose maybe, and maybe out through the nose, whatever's your natural breath. Let the parts of your body touching the earth become very heavy. And let's just start to elongate the inhale and the exhale. With this longer, softer breath, pay attention to your belly. Feel it compressing into the earth. With each inhale, feeling the body rise. And then when you let it go, Feel everything soften underneath you. Allowing yourself to go inward, finding that nourishment. Let's take a few more rounds of this breath. Knowing that Mother Earth gives us all that we need and reminds us that we're connected, or we are one with nature. Earth in Yin is related to the late summer, but obviously it's not late summer here. But Earth shows up in every season and every element. The Earth is the nourishment to our soul. With your next soft breath, slowly drag the hands underneath the shoulders and just press yourself up. We're going to get a prop. So press yourself up any way that you'd like and grab your blanket or your pillow. So I'm going to use a blanket. I'm going to unfold it like 1/4 of the way and then roll it up on the long edge of the blanket so it's like a burrito. You guys know I love my Taco Tuesdays, but it's Sunday. Burrito roll Sunday. So if you are using a pillow, you'll just lay your pillow across your mat. If you're using the blanket, you'll roll it up like a burrito. And what we're going to do is we're going to roll or lay back down onto our stomachs. And we're going to place our burrito rolled blanket or pillow on top of our, I guess it's going to be below our stomachs. So I like to come into a tabletop shape and kind of just get my belly somewhere in the general vicinity of where I think I can lay it down onto that blanket. So take your time getting here. Take your time noticing this compression on your belly. This compression should feel like a little bit of pressure, but it should not be uncomfortable or painful. So if you are getting here and it doesn't feel that great, I'm going to have you either roll forward or backwards to see if that helps for your first option. The second option would be to unroll your blanket or completely remove it altogether. So if you are not enjoying the blanket or pillow or whatever prop you have under your belly, it's just not comfortable, I get it. You can completely take it out and remove it, and then just do it sans or without your prop. So once you find that spot that feels pretty comfortable, make sure you're resting on your forearms. So elbows should be about underneath your shoulders. Then take the feet as wide as the yoga mat. Your feet are pointing towards the end of your yoga mat. Maybe your dog, if your dog is behind you. So what we're looking for here is to find that compression on the belly, and then a little bit of arch in the back. So if you feel like you get your elbows underneath your body and your back is like, oh, hello, this doesn't feel very good, you're going to walk your elbows forward. Good. So finding somewhere that's pretty comfortable for you, we're compressing that energy line. I'm going to get quiet for a minute, and I don't know if this is normal for anyone else, but for me, when I compress my belly in these meridian lines, I can start to feel my heartbeat in my belly in that meridian line. So again, I'm going to get quiet. We're going to breathe here for about another 1.5 minutes and just see if you can find a little bit of awareness. Maybe it's your heartbeat. For anyone that just joined, we've got a rolled up blanket underneath our belly as we lay on our bellies in Sphinx pose. So keep connected to that breath, that same breath that we had without the blanket underneath, where we could feel the rise and fall of our bodies. Maybe spread the fingertips a little bit wider. Maybe really press the palms into the earth. Maybe you feel the forearms connected to the mat. Last 3 rounds of breath here. Maybe you drop your chin to your chest, open the back of the neck. With your next breath, you can slowly slide your hands underneath the shoulders, curl the toes under, and then press up into that tabletop shape. You can pull the knees under the hips. And let's move our little burrito roll out of the way. Coming back to that tabletop shape, let's curl all 10 toes under. You guys know I have weird toes, so I have to come back and physically pull them out. Otherwise, I'm not fully connected to the ground. So we're going to come into a toe squat. So that's why it's really important. All 10 toes are uncurled. Slowly start to walk your hands closer to your knees as you allow your butt to sink towards your heels. Now you guys, this is pretty intense posture. We're stretching the fascia on the bottoms of our feet. So if you stay here and you feel that sensation, this is where you are today. Any runners or people that spend time on their feet, anyone that's had plantar fasciitis, this is a great stretch for that fascia. Let's breathe through this though. We're starting to heat up the body with our breath. I'm going to distract you with a little bit of fun yin wisdom. The Taoists who are, well, they didn't create yin yoga, but yin yoga is fashioned after Taoism. Anyway, that's not the fun fact. The fun fact is they said that your energy lines will be open through the bottoms of your feet. So they always recommend when you get out of bed first thing in the morning, this is the stretch you do. Okay, that's your fun fact. Oh, exhale. Let's come back down to our tabletop shape. Uncurl the toes and pat the tops of the feet out. Oh, yes, that's a good one. Nice little toe squat. All right, we're moving right into dragons from here. So this is where you're going to need your blanket for your knees if you have sensitive knees. So if you used your blanket as your burrito roll, go ahead and unfold that. You can also use your pillow. Whatever props that you have, grab it, get your knees on top of it, and place your blocks at the top of your mat. Get totally set up here. We're going to start with the left side today. I normally start with the right. Let's go ahead and step the left foot forward. So we're going to play in dragon pose. I can't talk today, you guys. In yin, dragon pose is this low lunge. So I want you to play for 1 minute here. I want us to press the front foot down into your mat so it feels nice and rooted. Curl your back toes under and then press your back toes into the mat so you feel strong. Hands can come to the waist, and let's just sink and move our bodies forward. It's okay if your front knee drifts over your toes or working into that ankle joint, and then just pull yourself back up into that dragon. So we're just pushing forward and coming back up. A few more times just like that. Good. Next inhale, when you come up, so we're not sinking forward, we're reaching the arms up. We're just going to move left and right. If you want to grab opposite hands here, like this, I'm a little bit off screen, but we're just going to move left and right, working into our psoas a little bit here. Good. Then on your next breath, the hands are going to come down to your blocks. So you can set your blocks up any way that you'd like. They've got lots of sides to fit your body structure. So once the hands come down, heel toe that left foot off to the left side. You may need to adjust your hands on your blocks. And let's just breathe here. So this is going to be our pose. This is that heated posture. This posture makes our minds start to chatter. But you've got lots of options here. Your front foot can stay planted. You might feel a stretch a little more in your hip flexor here. Or you can roll on to the outer edge of that left foot. So I'm going to turn and show you what it looks like here. So if you're in your posture like this, dang it, I'm still off camera. Okay, if you are in your posture somewhat like this, you heel toe that left foot out, you can drop the knee out to the left side. So you're going to feel more of an inner thigh stretch if you choose to take winged dragon, which just means dropping the knee out to the left side. So hopefully you guys can see that. Breathing here. You can even lower down to your forearms. Remembering these holds, the longer the time the hold is what intensifies this posture. We're going to go through a couple of these dragons. Then we'll do the other side. And then we'll take a nice, deserved child's pose to compress that meridian line, that front body line. But while we're here, breathing into this new shape, allow your mind to gather up any pieces you've left. When you breathe in, breathe life into those pieces. Allow the pieces to form back together. And then breathe the pieces out. All right, on your inhale, plant the hands to the floor, the block. If you took wing dragon, go ahead and pull that left knee in and roll the foot to the floor. So we're not quite done here. We're going to heel toe that left foot back in. The left hand can frame the left side of the foot, right hand on the right side of the foot. So I want you to flip your blocks or your props to their highest height, and then just shift the hips back and then forward, just feeling what happens here in this right hip, and then come back to your lunge. So we're going to try something a little bit fun here. If you fall over, it's okay. I do it all the time. We're going to stretch this right quad by grabbing our back foot with our right hand. So your left hand can stay on top of your front leg or plant it to a block. Wherever you put it, just make sure you feel balanced and solid so you're not falling over. Reach your right hand back. And then bend into that back knee. Pull the heel towards your butt. So even if you can't grab your foot, you're still going to actively pull. So you're going to feel a pull in your hamstring. But if you can grab your foot, you're going to pull that heel towards your butt cheek so you feel a stretch in the quad. We're not going to be here too long. Got this. Big exhale, let go. Send the left knee back. Woo. And just sink the hips down. You might need to massage your hip flexors. And we're going to step into the right dragon immediately. So inhale, come up to the knees, step that right foot forward. So we can move our blocks over. So remember, this first dragon, it's more of a moving dragon. Drive the front heel down. Let's curl the back toes under just to get that extra stretch on the bottom of our foot. Then inhale the hands up. And then let's just move left and right. You decide what feels good. You can even take cactus arms. So these is actually more of a rebound pose. So anything that feels good in this shape. Let's find a little bit of that movement, shifting forward, lifting back up. Good. Next breath. Hands come down to the floor or your blocks. So we're going to heel toe the right foot off to the right side. Coming down into our low dragon or lizard pose. Back knee stays down. Not trying to build up our cardio today. Try and make this a little more comfortable. So depending on where you're at, just know your left and your right side are going to be different. Moving through these asymmetrical postures also to help us balance ourselves out. Got to have a little on the left and a little on the right. Stay a little in the middle, right? Alright, so if you want to take the wing dragon version of this, you'll roll onto the outside of that front foot, that knife edge. Let the knee fall out to the side. So you start to feel that stretch in the inner thigh, really connecting to that meridian line. Maybe you lower down, continuing to breathe here. So I talked about patterns before. We're making our way into the second side or the opposite side of that first posture. Do you notice any patterns coming up? Maybe patterns in your thoughts. Maybe patterns in your breath. Patterns in the way you hold your body. Keep breathing. Maybe visualize materials breaking down from your stomach, sending energy from your spleen. With your next breath, slowly plant the hands to the floor, your blocks. Start to lift yourself up. Take it slow. That front foot can roll back down onto the mat if you had the winged version. Use your blocks to help prop you up. We're coming back into that upright dragon. Frame the foot with your hands or blocks. Maybe just take a minute, straighten that front leg, shift the hips back, come forward. So finding that balance here. So we're going to take that little bind, if it's in your practice. We're going to try the bind. So we're in this nice dragon. We're going to look over our left shoulder at the back foot. Right hand is either on the block or that front thigh. And let's just bend into the back knee. Reaching our left hand back, maybe we grab that foot and pull it close to our butt cheek, looking for that stretch on the left quad. Now again, if you're like, holy crap, Amy, I can't reach my foot. Are you crazy? That's okay. I couldn't reach my foot at one time, and sometimes I still can't reach my foot. You're going to actively reach for it, so you're going to try and pull that back heel towards your butt cheek. This makes it a little more active, but you can do it. Got this. 3 more rounds of breath. Good. Exhale, release the foot, the hand. Ooh, pull that right knee back in line with the left knee. And we're going to take a child's pose. So move the blocks off to the side. We are going to take the blanket that our knees were on. We're going to place it on our thighs, and we're going to lay our bellies over this blanket. So again, we're compressing our stomachs once again. If the stomach compression does not feel good for you, just take the blanket out. But if you're coming with me with this little compression, we're putting a little bit of pressure on that meridian line. Go ahead and just fold yourself over those blankets. This blanket is going to make it a little bit harder for your head to come to the floor, and your butt might lift off your feet, and that's okay. Grab a block and then come down to what's comfortable for you. So we're just going to use this as a little nourishment phase before we move into the next portion of our class. So just take a moment, let the fingertips reach back towards your feet, and let's pay attention to our breath. Let's take 3 rounds. Deep inhale in. Feel the compression on that blanket or pillow. Then you can open the mouth and let it go. Last breath. Slowly start to come all the way up to that long torso. Just take your time. When you come up, let the hands rest on your thighs. Roll the shoulders back and just sit up a little bit taller. Feel that breath travel down the spine. And then let's move into a down dog. Let's just move this energy a little bit. Toss that blanket off to the side. Toss that block off to the side. Plant the hands out in front of you as if you were coming into a tabletop shape. Spread the fingers wide. Curl the toes under. And then send the hips up and back. Keep a nice bend in the knees, though. Let's pedal the knees out. So they're still bent. Just dropping the heels down. Good. On your exhale, you can lower the knees to the earth. And then we're going to come all the way down to our bellies. And then roll onto our left side. I've got to get my mic pack out so I don't crush it. All right, so when you get onto your left side, we're taking a posture called cat pulling its tail. So roll onto the left side, bend your left elbow so you can support your head in it. I call this laying on the couch posture. It's not really a posture name. All right, so the top knee, you are going to flex into that hip, so you pull the top knee out in front of you. You can drop it to the floor or a block, whichever feels more comfortable for you. So you've got the top leg bent. You're going to take your right hand or the top hand and reach for your bottom foot. So we're going to bend into the bottom knee and we're going to grab that foot. So if you need to mess around your body here, not mess around, move around your body to get a grip on your foot, go for it. Once you make that connection, you're going to pull this heel, the one you're grabbing, towards your bottom butt cheek. So again, we're working into our left quad. So it's not a huge stretch. You may feel more of a stretch in your shoulder. So it's really not about how much you feel. This is going to be more about holding the posture. So we're not going to lay on our backs for this one. We are going to stay on our side. If you want to extend the left hand and then lay your left head down, feel free to do so. So we're getting a nice twist along our spine, working into the front lines. Cat pulling its tail. So just check in with yourself again. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. And just notice what your hands are doing. If you've got that bind, if you're holding your back foot, just make sure you're not gripping really tight. See if you can soften the grip. Soften the breath. As you breathe, think of your energy center, your stomach. A nice soft exhale. Release your hand and your foot from each other. And then you can just extend your top leg onto your bottom leg. We're just going to lay on our sides. The right hand can rest out in front of your chest or belly for support. And then let's roll on to our other side to take cat pulling its tail on the opposite side. So you can just roll over to flip to the other side. I'm going to switch mat side so I don't have my back to you. So when you roll over, you are now on your right side. Bend into the right elbow and support your head in your hand, aka laying on the couch pose. Alright, so that top leg, we're going to flex that left hip. So pull the left knee out in front of you, let it drop to the floor or a block. Left hand lifts up and then reaches back behind you as you bend into the bottom knee, taking that bottom foot towards your hand and butt cheek. So if you need to rock and roll to get your hand on your foot or ankle, you can even use a strap, sock. So once you make that connection, see if you can pull that bottom heel towards your bottom butt cheek. Good. So finding that comfortable position-ish, comfortable-ish. Take your head down or leave it where it was. Whatever's most comfortable for you. So every body part that's touching the floor right now, think about allowing just that one specific area of your body to connect to the earth and feel nourished. So really focus. Instead of saying, oh, it's just my foot touching the earth, or it's my arm, break it down. What is really touching the ground? Maybe it's the bone in your big toe. Maybe you can feel your ankle bone touching the floor, or maybe just brushing above it. Maybe the hair on your arms can feel the carpet, your mat, your pets. Just notice. Nice soft breath, Release the bind you had on your foot. Extending both legs long, just laying on your side. Slowly start to push yourself all the way up. So we're going to come into Dragonfly, which is just a straddle. So you choose how you'd like to be on your yoga mat. I am going to suggest you grab a blanket and prop yourself up on it. So bring it under your booty. Take the legs out in front of you, and then spread the legs, the heels nice and wide. Move back and forth. Find your center. Let's point and flex the feet a couple times. I feel like I'm not on camera with you guys now. All right. Point and flex the feet. So we're going to fold forward, but remembering in yin that the fold forward in this dragonfly or straddle is not to have a flat back and pancake yourself to the floor. The pose here, the point of this pose is to stretch the inner thighs and release the low back. And in order to do that, you need to have a slight micro bend in your knees, so don't lock your knees out. We're going to lean forward, then we're going to roll our shoulders forward. Think of Hunchback of Notre Dame here. I know that's not typically what you hear from yoga teachers, but in yin yoga, we're stretching the fascia and releasing the joints. So we're hunching, we're rounding forward. I shouldn't say hunching. We're rounding forward. So think of the head coming to the floor instead of the head moving out away from the hips. So we're rounded down, chin comes to chest, and just allow yourself to keep rounding down as if you're falling to the floor. You can let your hands come out in front of you, palms up or down. You can even grab one of your blocks and allow your head to rest on a block. So just finding that stretch on the inner thighs. You should be compressing your belly a little bit, not just by coming forward. It doesn't necessarily mean the belly needs to be on the thighs or the floor, but we are compressing it by folding forward. We're going to be here a full 3 minutes. So if you haven't found your edge yet, remembering your edge on a scale of 1 to 10, you want to go in at like a 3. So if 1 is like nothing and 10 is dear God, get me to the ER room, go in at a 3, because as this 3 minutes goes by, you are able to allow your body to relax and surrender to a 4 or maybe a 5. If you go in at a 5, by the time you get to 1 minute in, your body's going to be trembling, and the point of stretching your fascia and relaxing your mind is not there anymore. So let's try and get quiet. Let's try and find that balance. In these forward folds, I love to think of our meridian lines. I like to envision or imagine my breath traveling like a little subway system. Breathe in that magic, that nutrition, that nourishment for the mind, body, and heart. And I think about where that breath travels to. So our meridians that we're working with today really run along the entire front side of the body, from the toe all the way to the head, the crown of the head. So as you breathe, just imagine your breath traveling maybe down to your toe. Maybe your breath travels behind your eyes. Just take a nice deep inhale. Pause at the top of that breath, and then open the mouth and let it go. Slowly start to lift yourself up as you let that breath go. Taking your time, coming all the way up. Bend into those knees just a little bit to use your hands to help pull the knees into the body, pull the feet together, knees together. Maybe just rock those hips side to side, the knees side to side. You can even take full windshield wiper legs if that's good for you. Hands can reach back behind you to the floor. Drop the knees to the left and the right. All right. Let's move our blanket out of the way. Let's grab a block. If you didn't bring blocks today, you can use your blanket, but we're going to come on down to our backs. You should give your dog a pet when you do that. Now when you come on down to your back, bend the knees, plant the feet, setting up for a bridge shape. Taking supported bridge though with this block. Go ahead and drive your heels into the earth as you lift your hips up off the earth. With the block on its lowest or maybe medium height, slide it under your sacrum. So that is the very top portion of your hips or very bottom portion of your low back. So you're creating a little table or shelf for your lower spine. Once you lower your sacrum down to that block, just take a minute here to feel the sensation. Starting to open up this front body. If it feels good, you can start to crawl your feet towards the end of your mat. If at any time you start to do this, though, you feel pressure or a uncomfortable or discomfort sensation in your low back, go ahead and bend your knees. So we're looking to stretch our psoas, the front side of our hips. If you'd like to take your arms up overhead to continue opening up the heart space, take the arms up overhead. So depending on where you're at in the shape, if you're here and you're like, I think I could use a little more, flip the block to the medium height. If you're here and you're like, whoa, Amy, what are you making me do? This is too much. Take the block out or swap it out with your blanket. So the blanket will be a little cushier and it should be less intense. Check in with your breath here. Come back to that pattern. Are you finding any patterns as we move through each pose or asana today? Are you moving out of fear, comfort, worry, creativity? Check in with yourself. There's no right or wrong. We're humans. And something amazing about us is we have this entire spectrum of emotions. They're there for us as a tool to find balance. These emotions are not to be stored in a box and put away for a later time. This is the time to unpack those boxes and figure out where the balance lies. 5 more rounds of breath. Feel the inhale come in. Feel the exhale go out. If you had the hands up over your head, slowly slide them down by your sides. And take a moment here to flip the palms up and down, just a couple times. Palms down, feel the earth. Palms up, feel the air. Slowly start to bend into those knees, planting the feet on the floor. Take your time. Your back's gonna feel this. Once the knees are bent, feet on the floor, deep breath in, long breath out. So we're gonna move the block out from underneath us. Do it nice and slowly. Engage the core just a little bit to lift the hips up off the block. Slide that block off to the side. Slowly lower the hips to the earth. We're going to come right into a reclined butterfly, our sleeping butterfly. Heel toe the feet in together so the feet are touching, and then let the knees fall out to the side. So depending on how your hips feel, you may want to have blocks underneath the hips or the knees to help take pressure off the inner thighs if you don't need anything. Of course, you don't need the blocks. You can even drape a blanket across your thighs for added weight, like so. So arms, hands can rest by your sides, on your belly, above your head. There's no right or wrong to this. Take what nourishes you. As you're allowing your body to tap into the rest and digest portion of your nervous system, ask yourself what you need for nourishment. Maybe it's literal, maybe it's figurative, maybe you actually need breakfast or lunch today. Maybe it's a nap. Maybe it's just stepping outside, feeling the sun or the moon on your skin, grass below your feet. Maybe it's crunchy leaves or squeaky snow. What do you need to nourish yourself? With your next breath, slowly slide your feet towards the end of your yoga mat, coming into your Shavasana, removing any props that you might have had. You have two options for Shavasana today. Option one is to stay here on your back, grabbing your blanket and laying it across your belly, your torso area, keeping it warm, protected, safe, and nourished. Or option two is to roll over onto your belly, just like we did at the beginning of class. If you're taking belly Shavasana with me, I'm going to have you take your blanket and unfold it so it's not in the burrito roll this time. But unfold it so there's just one or two folds. I think this is halfway folded for me. But basically you just want a little bit of cushion. And then lay your belly down onto it. So you've got options here on your belly. You can bring your favorite ear to the mat, so maybe right ear to the mat. Hands can be out to the sides or in front of you, stretched out. Man, I am at a loss for words today, guys. All right, so you're on your belly. Your hands can be down by your sides. Your palms can be stacked, forehead resting on palms, or you can stack your fist. Whatever shape is most comfortable for you. If you need an extra blanket on top of you, take that extra blanket. But this is our Shavasana. If you're on your belly with me, let's connect with our breath once again. Breathing in, knowing that Mother Earth gives us all that we need. And breathing out, knowing that we are one with nature. As we start to relax here, I'm going to guide us through a grounding technique. So no matter what Shavasana position you took, I want you to bring your awareness to your belly button. From your belly button, I want you to visualize a tether, a cord, a rope. It's attached to your belly button. And you're going to allow this cord to stay so attached to your belly button, nothing could destroy the connection. At the other end of your cord, you're going to follow it, maybe through your spine, your mat, the carpet, the concrete, the foundation that you stand upon. It goes deeper through the sediment, the soil, making its way to the center of the earth. The other end of your tether attaches to the center of the earth. You are rooted, connected, and unwavering. Give your cord life. Is it a chain, a rope, a braided vine? Just notice the elements that you've given to it. Your cord is yours and yours alone. You are so rooted to Mother Nature that you cannot waver. This is your reminder that you are always rooted to what is below you, what is above you, and what is around you. When you feel the scale tipping and the unbalance coming into your life, come back to your cord. Grab onto it with your belly button. Grab onto it with your mind and know that you are supported. And no matter what position you took for Savasana, I want you to roll onto your left side if that side is comfortable for you, because our stomach and our spleen are on our left side. But roll onto that side. Pull the knees up into the chest for fetal position. You can rest your head on your arm or the floor. But today, instead of thinking of this as fetal position, as the rebirth, let's think of ourselves as little seeds that you've planted into the dirt. Just one hand on your heart. And get honest with yourself about what you need to nourish. We all have different needs. Take this moment to connect with that need. Nurture the need. Your breath is the water to your little seed. Your soul seed, if you will. You are in charge of watering your seed. Never forget the power in your nourishment. With your next breath, slowly start to press yourself all the way up into any comfortable seated position, taking your time as you get up, letting the blood flow rush back to all your extremities. Finding that comfortable spot, let's draw our hands together, joining our 5 elements of the fingers, left to the right, right to the left, yin to the yang, male to the female. We'll close our practice with our 3 intentional breaths. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable, and take a breath for yourself. Take a breath for someone you love. And take a breath for those who may be suffering. The world could always use more love in it. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. I hope you were able to connect a little bit with the earth element today. The more you connect, the more you can let in, and the more you can find that balance. The light in me honors the light in all of you. Namaste. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that class. I've got a yoga fortune for you. It's the last one in this box. I have to get more. But it is a You Matter card. And it says, a possibility was born the day you were born, and it will live as long as you live. I feel like, I know, I say this every single time. These always just go so well with class, and I have no idea what they're going to say before I open them, so I just think it's fun. No coincidences, guys. But that was by Marcus Solero. I'm not sure who that is. Oh my gosh. One day I'll get better at this camera thing. It's not auto-focusing. Dang it. Alright. Oh, you guys know I'll post a picture. Namaste, Anna. Thank you. And thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Lainey, it was good that you were here too. You guys know that these classes are up for you to view anytime you want them. So if you need any of the other elements, I think we only have one more left. I'll have to double check my notes, and I haven't had my coffee today. Maybe that's why I can't talk. Or my tea. So, anyway, we'll make our way through, I think, one last element, and then I think we'll move on to chakras from there. We'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, anything, you guys know I'm here for you. So, have a great day. Have a great Sunday. Have a great week. And and I will give Obi a hug and hi. He's been so good today. This is really strange. So hopefully your baby dogs were watching and participating. Who do we have? So Obi was here. Anna, you have Spanky. Lainey, you have Pika, Mojo. And why am I forgetting the third one? Pika, Mojo. Who's your third dog? I can't think of it. Anyway, I hope they all got a little earth energy too. All right, love you guys. Mwah.